because some fish do certain things. Some fish are so stupid. Man, God made all creatures different, man. And they do a specific thing at a specific time for a specific reason, and they all have their own little tricks, so you can't get a hold of them. But a shrimp has a knack. He will jump out the water and die rather than stay in poison water. But what it does positively do is once all gets on the bottom, that's his real bedding grounds. They just come in to grow up.
And so if they put dispersant into the oil, that's just going to sink down onto the shrimps anyway?
Oh, man, that's a horse of a different color right there. I'm not a scientist, so all I know is what I hear is what they outlawed that overseas and they're using it here.
I mean, it seems almost doubling the problem in some ways, you know, just leaving it sitting there, all the oil.
You're good at your job, buddy. They don't have no solution, and the people they have running around out there is doing it like they're insane.
31 days later, and now we decide to use the least toxic dispersant. Guess what about this dispersant that they've been using for 3 weeks? It's banned in the United Kingdom, plus it's too toxic. 4 weeks after the leak started, the Obama administration is telling BP to use cleaner chemicals.
Joining us now is BP's COO, Doug Suttles. And Mr. Suttles, let's get right to it. People have really had enough of this. You know, initially you're saying 5,000 barrels were leaking. Now we can see for ourselves that it's far more than that. Could be approaching 100,000. Did you deliberately underestimate the size of the spill and mislead the public? The dispersant that you're using corrects it. The EPA is now saying it's among the most toxic and least effective. How do you respond to that? Then how do you make sense of the claims that we saw in Jeffrey Kaufman's report that the experts were saying that where it has been used, that they can determine that 25% of the organisms living right below the surface have been killed already?
Well, I haven't seen any evidence to show that so far.
Any living organism that contacts this stuff, particularly the mixture of dispersant and oil, is at significant risk of acute mortality that's dying quickly, or sublethal chronic injury that might take weeks, if not months, if not years to manifest.
Jellyfish out there, they didn't care about it. Man from BP made a statement. The jellyfish is now poisoned or half dead. Okay, the fish eat the jellyfish. There's people here make their living solely on crabs and spadefish. The spadefish eat jellyfish.
According to the Wall Street Journal, Corexit is among the least effective in breaking up the kind of oil that is prevalent in the area around the spill site.
Marine toxicologist Ricky Ott says the chemicals used by BP can wreak havoc on a person's body and even lead to death.
The volatile organic carbons they act like a narcotic on the brain, and at high concentrations, what we learned in Exxon Valdez from carcasses of harbor seals and sea otters, it actually literally fried the brain.
Right now, we cannot identify another product that is available that is better than the Corexit product, but we continue to look at that, and we formally replied to the EPA's request last night. But we'll continue to try to find something better than what we're using, but so far we haven't been able to do that.
You're looking at it, almost 100,000 gallons of the less toxic dispersant. Guess who ordered it? BP did. On May 4th, almost 3 weeks ago.
I know that you're fully aware, Mr. Suttles, of the public outrage, and I think Representative Ed Markey of Massachusetts really summed it up. Want to play what he said and get your response.
I think now we're beginning to understand that we cannot trust BP. People do not trust the experts any longer. BP has lost all credibility.
You know, you have the right to be angry, but it's what you do with it. Look, if you put faith in a major oil company, I don't believe nothing they say. That's some dirty people down here. It's got to be dirty politics. But I'm not hard. Look, I got to put this stuff back on one more time.
So you have to take this off every time BP cancels?
No, you should only take it off if they called you. But I took it off in good faith and hoping they would call. But instead, they hired people out of here. Man, they didn't even hire the people that's born here. Born and raised here, generation after generation. All you got to do is watch all the tapes back when all this is all over. And you're going to know, my daddy used to call me Little Dick because his daddy called him Dick. You're going to know Little Dick was right. That's funny.